Listen to what I have to say because I'm about to talk to your soul, and I hope you're ready. Pain travels through families until someone is ready to feel it. Are you hearing? Did you hear what I said? Pain travels through families until someone is ready to feel it. For many of us, our generational curse is avoidance. We came from people, ancestors, families who would prefer to just sweep it under the rug and pretend like it never happened, right? But pain demands to be felt. And somewhere along the line, a child will be born whose charge it is to feel it all. Because we all know, you cannot heal the pain that you refuse to feel. So, are you one of these? Is this who you are? This is who I think I'm talking to. I came across this poetic, I'll just say poetic justice. I came across this saying, and I thought this is perfect with what I have been channeling for the past week and a half. On top of Pluto really doing some destruction around me. But that is my life if you don't know my life. If you don't know me, then you know that's, if you know me, you know that's my life. It will flip on a dime. And though I didn't lose someone, I had people around me, someone lost someone very special. So Pluto was doing already his shit. But in the week and a half, and this is why this is taking so long to get out. But in the week and a half, I was channeling, and I was channeling Pluto, and well, I'm channeling through my higher self. Um, and so what I got, I went deep. I went deep. I got to go deep in each one of these houses, and I was asking, not only do I want to feel to understand, but I want to know how to get out of this. I want to know what steps we can take to relieve this. And this is why I have this picture here. Do you see the baggage? Do you see what you're bringing from other lifetimes, from your childhood, from your lineage? It's all the pain, it's all the destruction, it's all the trauma. And that's what the series is about. The series is about Pluto, understanding Pluto, understanding Aquarius, understanding Pluto in Aquarius, and understanding how it works in your life, in your society, and in our humanity and over the globe. So I hope I do it justice. I'm just going to be showing you and helping you understand what I know. Okay? And I'm just sharing this with you. But to understand, I had to go deep. I had to go really deep. And some of you are not ready. I'll tell you that right now. Most of you are ready. If you found me, you can say yes, you're ready. But some of you will choose to not do it. Because what I understand from Pluto is you can't heal all this trauma in one lifetime. But that doesn't mean that you won't heal it in this lifetime, because you could have had 100 lives or 1,000 lives that you've been working on this, and this is the last life where you actually transform it, transmute it, change it, right? This is a very special time, like it was before, but this is a very special time that we were all born in. You chose to be born at this time because you had that energy and you had that courageousness and you had that warrior mentality, which is what I am. So, like attracts like. If you know me, you're a warrior. If you know me, shit don't always go your way. If you know me, if you know me, and I'm sorry about that, but if you know me, you're ready. Now, whether you choose to do it, that's up to you. I will tell you, I'm going to be talking about Pluto. I'm going to be talking about Aquarius energy. I'm going to be talking about the history, and then what we can gather for the next 20 years, and then I'm going to go into each of the houses. So this is going to be a series, right? I think the way that I'll do it is do first 12th, second, 11th, and like that. Okay. You're going to probably need a break between each one of these houses, but I will tell you, even if you watch a video that doesn't have anything to do with your house or where it's transiting, I would still look because this can help you understand your family members. It can help you understand your partners. It can help you understand your friends and their trauma and their baggage. This is what we have been carrying for so long. And my what I asked was, how can help fix this? How can I help? I need steps. I need to not just be able to feel and understand all this, but I need to know how to get out of this. I need to know how to get through this. I need to know how to transmute it because it's the alchemist in me. I want to transmute this energy so that we're not carrying around this baggage anymore. Because you deserve, your lineage deserves, your family deserves, your future family members, your lineage that is born after you deserves to have a life, but you deserve as well. Don't forget about yourself. You deserve as well to have a life where you're not carrying this baggage, where you're at ease and at peace and have joy in your life. You deserve that. So does your lineage. So, let's talk about Pluto. So, the first thing I want to say is before you reach the houses, because I'm going to do this part first and then I'm going to start with the houses in the next video. And I'll probably do two houses in each video, and they're going to be long. But what you want to go do is you want to go look at your chart, and you want to see where Pluto is in your house when you were born. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. Sorry. Here we go. So this is the sign Pluto. I mean, a lot of you that watch these types of videos, this is going to be deep. This is not going to be like a regular video. This series is not going to be like a regular series, okay? So this is the planet Pluto. This is what he looks like. What you want to do is go in your chart, in your natal chart, when you were born, and I want you to go look and see what house your Pluto's in. Okay, not just the sign, because to me the sign tells me how it kind of plays out, but we need to know the house. I need to know you want to know the house, and that's what you'll be looking at in the videos, right? So this is where Pluto is now, and then you have where Pluto is in your chart. That means when you were born, it's like the universe took a picture and said, "This is where all your planets are. This is where everybody's at when you were born. At the exact moment you were born, click. Here's a picture. This is your roadmap to what you'll be dealing with in your lifetime." This is to help you. So, some of you will have Pluto in Virgo. Sorry, in Virgo. Where's Virgo? Sorry. Some of you will have Pluto in Virgo, like me. Some of you have it in Libra. Some of you will have it in Leo, boomers. Virgo is mainly, so there's some boomers that are like right at the beginning of Virgo. But Gen Xers are mostly Virgo and then into Libra, right? And then we have Cancer, right? And Scorpio and Sagittarius and Cancer. And now we're in Aquarius, right? And so that's what this is going to be about. So you want to go look at this symbol, find it in your chart, in your natal chart, okay? And you can get your natal chart for free. Just look on the internet. I mean, Google it. You can get it for free. I think I use astro.com. I have my own thing, but I think you can use astro.com. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you is there's two things going on. There's a Pluto, and the series is both. There's a Pluto that you had. It's the same Pluto. It's a picture of Pluto where it was when you were born. That's your natal chart. That is the house that Pluto works on but it talks to the other planets during your lifetime, okay? When it talks to planets or talks to other houses, right? It just talks about trauma. It's trying to transform your trauma, right? So, but then we have where it's at now, and that's what we call a transit, where it's coming from now. Now, why do Gen Xers act the way that we do? Because a lot of us have Pluto in Virgo, right? We have Pluto in Virgo. We want to help humanity, but we can disassociate. we can, we're, we're like, whatever. We'll do what we're going to do anyway. It doesn't matter. We didn't depend on anybody anyway. That's how Virgo is, right? But we have some Libras in there too who kind of are like, well, I kind of see it, I kind of don't, I kind of see it, I kind of don't. So Pluto, you need to look at it where it is in your chart. That's what you've been dealing with in your lifetime and lifetimes. That's where it's like your generational stuff. Just your generation plus your other's generation. Okay? Does that make sense? Then we have where Pluto is now. Pluto is now in Capricorn, right? That's what we call a transit. So, I mean, Pluto, he's not a Capricorn, he's an Aquarius. He's been in Capricorn for 20, 15 something years. He's just moved into Aquarius, and this is a huge, huge, huge transit. This means we're changing energies. We've already been seeing that. We saw it in March, right? This is Capricorn is very different than Aquarius, right? But first, to get all of that, I need you to understand Pluto, and then I need you to understand Aquarius. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Pluto, and then we're going to be talking about Aquarius, and then we're going to be talking about the history of when Aquarius was in, I mean, when Pluto was in there in Aquarius before, and then we're going to be talking about what I kind of see for the future of the next 20 years. Okay. So, Pluto for you. So, Pluto is, I don't even know how to describe him like in a person because the the planets to me are characters, right? Because they have these characters that when I'm as a medium, I'm talking to them or I'm feeling them and I can feel it. Pluto is like that. I don't know. You know what Pluto is kind of? Pluto is that aunt or uncle, maybe that was distant. Maybe it was a grandma. We'll say it was a family member. This is the closest way that I can explain Pluto in a whole. It's like that family member that was distant that you kind of knew but you didn't know about, and then you see those movies where that person has to go live with the aunt because her parents died or his parents died or his family's gone, and then they got to live with that awful aunt or awful grandmother or awful grandfather or whatever, right? They're very hardcore. They teach you hard lessons. They're very cold. That's Pluto. But in the end, at the end of the story, you see that they have a soft heart. They just wanted to make sure that you were good. They just wanted to help you learn the skills and be stronger and understand your power and all of that. And that's the only way they knew how to teach you, right? That's Pluto. Pluto is power. Pluto brings up trauma. Pluto brings up obsession. Pluto is deep. Pluto is cold. Pluto is transformation. That's what Pluto does. But in order to do this, he will bring up your fears. He will uh, he will make those highlighted, right? Pluto is that Pluto is karma. Pluto is your psychological wound. Pluto is also the, like, for yourself, Pluto is that place where you're going along every day, but you're hearing that voice in your head or you're feeling that sensation. Because some of you will hear the voice in your head, some of you will feel the sensation, right? Depends on who you are. But you'll feel that, oh, I can't do that. And then you're like, well, why can't I do that? If you really ask yourself all the stuff that's going on in your head, I'll give you the example. You're going to the store and you're going to get some soda, and then you're like, oh, I can't have the soda. And then if you think about it, you're like, why can't I have the soda? Well, because when I was a child, my parents didn't let me have soda. But I'm an adult now, I can have the soda. Yeah, but it's kind of bad for you. I'm not sure about the soda. Yeah, but this is the way my family's always done it, so we're gonna not get the soda. But I really want the soda, right? That's Pluto. That's a psychological wound. It's the things that we're telling ourselves. It's that right underneath the surface stuff, if that makes sense. Okay? Just trying to get you into the Pluto energy, right? So Pluto will, by the end, when he brings up your trauma and brings up your fear, let me tell you right now, he's been doing that all your life, right? And some of y'all, what I was told is everybody has the choice whether to work on their Pluto, but not everybody will choose to work on their Pluto. But that doesn't mean that Pluto won't do its thing. Pluto will still do its thing. So you can take the trauma that comes in your life and you can be like, okay, shit happens, right? And then just put it away, forget about it, try to move on from it, get out of the feeling of it, da da da, keep moving forward. Or you can choose to look at it. You can choose to sit in it. You can choose to understand it. You can choose to get through the trauma and transform it. That's what Pluto's. It's still going to do what it's going to do, but it's your choice whether you want to heal that or not. It's why I put this up. It's why I put this. Hold on just a second. It's why I put this picture up. It's why I did that. Because you don't even realize all of the baggage that you're carrying. You don't even realize it. And you don't have to keep carrying this baggage. You don't have to. You are that one. You were born at this time for that reason. You are that one to look at it. You are that one to finally transmute it and release it. But if you choose not to, it's okay. It's okay. You have a choice. That's what this is about. You having your choice. But if you understood that, like, the vision that I see for this is, it's like you opening the door to a dark room that's pitch black. I mean, no light, right? And you know it's kind of scary in there. It makes me a little anxious. I'm a little nervous. I got to go in there though because I'm the warrior, right? I got to go in there. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do it, right? And you don't even know why you're going in there. You're going in there to get to the other side, is what you're doing. So you're like, to get to the other side, I know that the other side is good. I can feel it. I know it's light. I know there's light there, right? And you open the door and you go in there and you're nervous and you close the door behind you. You can still see the light behind you and you can see that there's light on the other side, but you're in the dark and you close the door. When you close the door, there is nothing but darkness and it's cold and it's dark and there's trauma and there's pain and there's fear and all of that, and you lose yourself in that. We all lose ourselves in that from time to time, right? And in lifetimes you lost yourself in that. And the way to get to the light is to get through all of that and become the light. But we get stuck in the darkness and then the darkness becomes the norm for us. Does that make sense? Like, when you're sitting in the dark for a long time, even if there's no light at all, and then all of a sudden your eyes adjust, that's what's happened. You've adjusted to being in the dark. You've adjusted to having all this baggage. You've adjusted to that. You don't, you kind of have a knowing and a feeling that there is light, that you can be lighter, that there is happiness, that there is joy, that there is all of this, that there is value, that there is humanity coming together, that there is love, and you get glimpses of it because your eyes can adjust, but you've sat in the dark too long. It's too long. It's time to transmute that so that your bag is empty. Look at this chain. Like, it's so heavy that you're like pulling with the chain too. Not only are you pulling it off of your back and in your genes and through your ancestors and through your genetics. And how do I know this? Because I used to work in genomics medicine. I know what's in the genes. Like, I don't know everything, but I used to work in this stuff. It's in your genes. You're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your ancestors. You're doing it for your genetics. You're doing it so that not just you can live a better life, but those that come after you can live a better life. You just know that it's there, but you've got to get through the darkness. And what's happened is that we adjusted ourselves to the darkness, right? We've adjusted ourselves to the darkness and forgot that we were looking for the light because we thought, oh, it's not so bad here. I'm going to do this every day. I've been doing this for lifetimes. But you don't realize you're going to feel so much better when this bag is empty, when you transform. And that's why you should look at your Pluto. That's why you should work with your Pluto, because this bag doesn't have to be full. This bag you can let go of. You can transmute and it can become empty, and then you can walk freely. Does that make sense to you guys? So, in the next 20 years, Pluto was already messing with us with the structure when it was in Capricorn. It is now going to be messing with us on a generational, on a societal level in a very different way because it's Aquarius energy. But if there's fear, he's going to bring it up and he's going to show you your power. It's like he's going to pull things away and take things away and psychologically mess with you until you finally say, you know what? I'm fuck that. Hell no. I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. I know. And I can do it with other people. And that's where the Aquarian energy comes in. That's how we kind of know where we're going because Aquarians are about humanity, society, the group, but keeping our anonymity. So we're going to learn over the next 20 years how to be in a group, work in a group, coming from a cause, and then also keeping our anonymity, our independence, as well as being in the group. Does that make sense? So, again, you get to choose whether you want to work on your Pluto or not. It's kind of up to you. And there's no shade if you don't do it, right? So, from now until um I think it's June. From now until June, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. Then it's going to go back one more time and retrograde into Capricorn. One more time for Capricorn because people are being stubborn. But during that time, and this is where your chart comes in, during the time where Pluto is transiting, he's going to be highlighting parts of your chart. And how do we know that? Because when he comes to a point where he's talking to another planet of yours in your chart, you need to understand what fears he's going to bring up, what obsessions he's going to bring up, what power play he's going to bring up. Okay? Because he's going to transform you. That's his job. His job is to transform you. Your job is to make the choice whether you want to look at it or not. Okay? So that's a little bit about Pluto. Um, Now let's talk about Aquarius energy. I was supposed to do an Aquarian video about Aquarians probably about what 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I never got to do it. I had the dichotomy. I had the struggle within me because I promised the Aquarians I wouldn't tell their secrets, right? But everybody wants to know their secrets. So now that there are all these other videos about Aquarians, I figured, okay, now I can do it because some of their secrets have been told. And that's the way, as an Aquarian, I got out of it. But I'm not going to talk about just Aquarian. I wanted to give you Aquarian energy because this is so that it can help you understand where we're going as a society. So Aquarius is a fixed sign, but it's a fixed air, right? So how do we have fixed air, right? That should tell you a lot about Aquarius. We are a dichotomy. And I say we because my ascending, if you don't know me, my ascending is Aquarius. Okay. I have Gemini and I have Sagittarius, but my ascending is Aquarius. So we live with the dichotomy within us. That's why you can't figure Aquarians out, right? Because we can't freaking figure this out. Because we live with Saturn is our old ruler and Uranus is our new ruler. So we have both Saturn characteristics and Uranus characteristics, right? And so let me talk about a little bit about Big Daddy Saturn. I call him Big Daddy Saturn because I'm close to him because he too is prominent in my life. So Saturn is about commitment. He's karmic, just like Pluto. He's authority, right? He is time itself. He's Father Time. Aquarians are the masters of time. I won't go into, because I said I wouldn't tell their secrets that haven't been told. So I'm not going to go into how they're the masters of time. Just know they're the masters of time. Okay? Uh, but the Saturn energy is more restriction. It's resilience, it's fortitude, it's where we find our strength, right? In Saturn. It's social obligation. Um, but it's social responsibility. That's Saturn, right? That's kind of where we get that as an Aquarius to do that. It's the social responsibility that we have through Saturn. Um, it's repression, and it can be martyrism. That's more a little bit more Capricornian, but we have that as well, where we can get martyrism, where we're just like, well, we'll just be completely selfless, and that's kind of what sabotages us sometimes, or the Aquarian energy, is we become too selfless, right? And so um, so it's about tradition. Saturn's about tradition, right? Saturn's about tradition, but we have Uranus, which is our modern day ruler. So I think we have both. I just think we're both. Energy doesn't stop and start. And these people that are talking about one house does one thing and that you don't even understand that as astrologers, right? You have to understand energy does not stop and start. There's a transmutation, there's a frequency, there's a what does it oscillate at? It doesn't just stop and then start. Like it doesn't stop and then start another one, right? It like flows, it intermingles, right? So we have both Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is the rebel. Uranus is non-conformant. Uranus will not conform. And that's where we get our fixed part from, is if we have an ideology and the the way that we feel as Aquarians is we took all precautions to have that ideology. So when we come to an idea about something, we're pretty fixed. We're not going to change it. And you're not going to change our mind until you come with some data. If you can come with some data and some facts, then we'll consider it. But um, we're non-conformant. It's Uranus is about freedom. It's Uranus is unpredictable. This is something that Aquarians probably don't like want me saying because they some of them may not even know it. Depends on how awake you are. Aquarians love to go drop a bomb and then walk away. Like the reason they do it is because they want the shock and awe. They love to disrupt and make you think and change direction and whatever it's going to take to move you forward, right? But sometimes they get in their little ego self and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna go start some shit. That's what they do. Now, a lot of Aquarians aren't gonna agree with me because some of them don't even realize that they're doing it. But Aquas, if you know, you know, right? Sorry, Uranus is eccentric. We are highly eccentric. Like we're really eccentric. It's because we think a different way. Aquarian energy is not like A, B, C, D. It's not like Capricorn, very linear. Aquarian is it's abstract. It comes from all different directions, right? We're not stuck in time. We don't have the barrier of time. We have the good part of Saturn in that way. Capricorns can have that too. They just have to step into that. Uh, Uranus is about excitement. It's about, and again, that comes where the excitement can be good or bad, where they'll go and drop a bomb or change shit up, and that's why people don't like us sometimes. We're too much. We're too much. We are too much sometimes. Uh, Uranus is very revolutionary. It's independent. It's future thinking. We are so forward thinking. Things are not going to be the same in the next 20 years. And I know that things change naturally, like over a 20-year period of time. But y'all don't understand. This is Aquarian energy, where it would be normally a 20-year period of time. It's going to progress like a 100-year period of time. Does that make sense? Like a 20-year period of time in a different energy would progress as a 20-year period of time, like in Capricorn energy, that time. In Aquarian energy, we're going to have such progression that it's going to be like a 50 or 100-year time period in a 20-year time period. That's a lot of growth. It's a lot of growth, right? I hope that makes sense. So very futuristic, very future thinking. We think abstractly. We just come from all different directions. We're very so Aquarian energy is very brilliant. It's got brilliant minds. But here's the thing. Sorry, my mic went out. But here's the thing. Saturn is very traditional and Uranus is non-traditional, which is probably why you look at us and you're like, "What the fuck?" Because we are both. So I'll give you try to explain it. I'll try to explain it, okay? As an Aquarian. If we find something traditional that we feel is in our ideology that will help humanity continue to progress and give us sort of a sounding board or foundation, then we will keep it. If we don't, if we think it's harming us, if we think it's holding us back, we have no problem moving it forward, letting it go, destroying it. So we will take old systems and we will make them explode. But if we find a tradition like an example would be traditional marriage is a good concept, but it may be a little outdated, right? So we may need to like change it a little bit, but I have reverence and I have honor and integrity for marriage. I'll give you I'll give you an example personally for me. I was married for 20 years, so I know what it's like to be married, right? Until my husband crossed over. I am not looking for a partner, but that doesn't mean that if a partner doesn't come around and I meet somebody, uh, that I'm not open to that, right? Now, I don't necessarily need to get married again because I don't need labels. Aquarian energy, we don't need labels, but we understand labels. It's to help people understand, right? So if somebody comes around, I fall in love, he falls in love, and he feels like marriage would help him feel safe and secure and all of that, then I am not opposed to being married if that is the love of my life. I don't need to be married, but I'm not opposed to it. You understand? That's kind of how Aquarians think. Like, so over the next 20 years, you're going to see some very different relationships. It's already started. That's why we have a whole group of women my age that are content being on their own. That are content. That's why we have men who are content being on their own. Men my age. That's why we have dating apps that aren't working and people's the tradition of the way people are grouping or having relationships. It's going to be very different. It's going to be very different, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But I just wanted to give you an understanding. We're traditional and we're non-traditional. We have no problem changing it. We're not changing it. We stand in both. Again, if the tradition serves humanity, if it's doing something good, where like we see it as this is a nice place for people to come and congregate, to be organized. That's tradition, right? Organization in groups. But if it's holding us back, if it's holding society back, if it's holding humanity back, we'll change it. We'll blow it up. Okay, does that make sense? So, Aquarian energy, having both these in them, and all that having Saturn and Uranus in them, being a fixed air. Like, how the hell do you have a fixed air? That's why we're a dichotomy. That's why nobody understands us, right? Because we're both. But sometimes we feel you look at us and you see one, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. So, Aquarius is a liberator because Uranus is a liberator, but Aquarius is humanity. Aquarians are humanitarian. So Aquarius energy is liberation. So we are going to see a lot of liberation. You'll see it in history in a little bit when I talk about it. What we've been through the last time Aquarius was Pluto was in Aquarius. So Aquarius is the liberator. Aquarius is very humanitarian. Aquarius is very eccentric. You'll never understand. You just won't unless you're an Aquarius. Unless you're an Aquarius or unless you know how to go into your Aquarius side. And that's a whole other thing for astrology. But you can go to the Aquarius place of you and you'll understand a little bit better, right? So we have a special this is what we're known for. We have a special way of detaching because we're brilliant. Aquarius energy is brilliant. I'm not gonna say I'm brilliant, but Aquarius energy is brilliant. We think our way out of things. We were taught a long time ago when we were children, probably most Aquarians were taught, the best way to keep myself safe and to keep everything moving is to think my way out of this, right? So we have the special gift of taking our emotions or taking emotions in general and putting them to the side, putting them in a little box, putting them over there because that's chaotic and that has nothing to do with IQs. That has to do with emotions. That's chaos. And there's no form to that. And there's no thinking your way out of that, right? And again, if they're in the next, what's going to happen is Aquarius is going to go into the systems because I'm not going to say Aquarians can't be leaders because we can, but Aquarians prefer, they're not a Leo that needs to be a leader. They're not a Capricorn that needs to be a leader. Aquarians prefer to get down and dirty. Like we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to get down and dirty with you. If there's a cause, if we see a cause, like we work on causes and missions. That's what we work with. We don't care about money. I'm not saying we don't like money. I'm not saying we know how to deal with money. I'm not saying that we understand that we don't understand money. We understand. We understand very well. But that's not why we work. That's not why we do things. Like, that could be a detriment to us because we don't care about the money. So, like, you often see Aquarians working not for the money and not having a lot of money, right? That can be a detriment to them. So, um, let's see, Aquarians. Sorry, I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget because I don't want to tell your secrets, so I'm not just talking off my head. Um, so a true Aquarian, this is for a true Aquarian that I'm talking about with the money and the things, right? It doesn't mean we don't appreciate it. It doesn't mean we don't understand it because we do. We understand about money, and it's one thing that kind of perturbs us because we don't work for it. We can take it or leave it, really. What we work for is a cause. What we work for is to organize groups. What we work for is a mission to progress humanity. That's kind of what we work for, and we won't do anything less. And if that means we have to go without, if that means we have to do without, then that's what that means. And that is kind of a detriment to Aquarians because it's not like we're high and mighty. It's just that that's not our purpose. Our mission, our purpose is to help progress. Our mission, our purpose is to work in groups and teach people how to work in groups. Does that make sense? Our mission, our purpose is to help change the world. That's why we're here, to help change the world. And that's why we're really here at this time, because the world is going to change. I told y'all it was going to change. I've been telling y'all for the last 10 years. It's going to be very different. Now's that time. It's going to be very different. It's going to be very different, and we're all going to move towards that, right? So, here's the other thing, though. Aqua, this is where we get the bad rap, because Aqua energy will walk away from emotional chaos. Like, we'll try to help in the beginning, but we understand, and we understand too well. See, you guys think we don't have feelings or emotions. We have way more than probably Scorpio. We have way more. And I know that's going to hurt some Scorpio's feelings, and I'm sorry. But here's the truth of it. We have way more feelings than most signs. We just have the gift of being able to prioritize and compartmentalize it. So we have a gift to be able to detach and put it to the side. Scorpios don't have that gift. So Scorpio has to feel it all. We have that way. We have that gift to be able to detach. So if somebody is hysterical, irate, or whatever, we will try in the beginning to help, but we understand that chaos is chaos. And until the chaos calms down, there's nothing we can do about it. So we'll try in the beginning for your sake and for ours, and then we will detach and walk away. That's what you're going to be seeing in the next 20 years. We're going to try and we're going to try, but if it gets too chaotic and too emotional and it doesn't reason, so in society, if you see things aren't reasoning, like that doesn't make any sense. A plus B equals C, da 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 da, then we're going to like let it go until you calm down. That's what we're going to do. That's Aquarian energy. I hope you're understanding all this. Um, okay. So the last thing about Aquarius is we're altruistic. We're self-sacrificing. And that can be a bad thing for us because we can self-sacrifice to a point where we have nothing. Uh, Including I've done it myself several times, you know. So like for me, and I'll talk about this when we get to that house, but for me, Pluto is traveling in or transiting in my 12th house, and that is all about the balance between self-sacrificing and self-preservation. So it is my time to learn that. Here's the other thing too. I already told you that the relationships are not going to look, they're going to be very unconventional, very unconventional. And I'll give you a hint. I don't know exactly how this is going to go because we all have choices, right? But I can see, and I've been shown where relationships are going to look very different in that. And I'll talk about like marriage. If a couple is married and they've been married for 20 years, right? And they still love each other, but they know they've grown and they have different ideologies and but they don't want to leave the marriage, but they know they have to grow and they're growing in two totally different directions, right? So maybe this is just me thinking. Maybe you decide, I love you so much. We have this bond and we have 20 years behind us, and I don't want to find anybody else, but I do want to continue to grow. So maybe I go this way and I travel for a little while, and maybe you travel this way, or maybe you stay because you don't want to go anywhere. But maybe you let me travel, and it's not about me looking for somebody else, it's about me finding myself. It's about me growing myself, but I can come back to this marriage that has never left, and then we'll come back and see how both of us have grown. And maybe you're going to see relationships like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I can see where there's going to be relationships. This is going to be far out there, but this is the Aquarian mind, and I'm thinking. Okay, you could see relationships with AI and people. You could see relationships with AI and dolls and people. You could see relationships. It's going to look very different. It's going to look very unconventional. It's going to look very Uranus. Like it's going to be very different. So that's the problem we're having right now is because we're so used to the traditional. And it doesn't mean that we won't have the traditional. It just means we'll have the traditional and other things too. Okay. That's just an example. That's just a glimpse of what I've been shown. But it's not like in true Aquarius in different times where we've had to like hold things back and not tell people because we're so forward thinking that people are going to think we're strange, even though we already know people think we're strange. It's like they can't handle it anymore, so we don't tell them things. Anyway, I can see in the next 20 years where that is okay. And this is why I need my Aquarians to step up because now is your time. You no longer have to be afraid of who you are. You no longer have to keep that from the public and your family and your friends anymore. But you need to step it up. You need to get out of your head because you should have been taking these 5, 7 years to be healing yourself and understanding where those emotions were, right? Now it's time to take action. But this is a very freeing time for you. This is what you've always dreamed of. This is the Uranus Pluto era. This is Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, right? This is all of that where, yes, I'm going to have the traditions, but you need to be open to my other self too. Does that make sense? I need, I, I'm going to talk to you Aquarians later, but you Aquarians, you need to step up. You just need to step up. It's time. So, for those Aquarians that aren't there yet, they're almost there, but they're not there yet. The sabotaging factor that Aquarians can have is that we detach easily to emotions. That's for those Aquarians that are just waking up, right? So you got to learn. So your next step is to go in and learn your emotions. Be in your emotions. Understand your emotions and then transmute that energy. Okay? But that's because we have all levels of Aquarian energy in the next 20 years. And right now, we're kind of at that base level of Aquarian energy. So you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of detachment. You're going to see a lot of like very humanitarian, but all but emotionally not quite connecting there, if that makes any sense. So you may see organizations and things going through those types of changes where if it doesn't make sense, it's time to go. I don't know if that makes any sense, right? So that's a little bit about Aquarius energy. The overall Aquarian energy is to heal, solve, and liberate. That's Aquarian energy. Solve, heal, and liberate. That's our mission. Solve, heal, liberate. Solve, heal, liberate. Or liberate, solve, and heal. Whatever. It's those three. That's what we're going to be doing over the next 20 years. Okay? So, in history, Pluto hasn't been in Aquarius for 248 years. You've probably heard this in other videos. I'm just saying it because it's part of this whole thing, right? But um, I'm trying to get you to place. I'm trying to do this video series to help you understand what other people aren't going to be able to help you understand about where we're going. Now, I'm going to really be talking to your soul when I'm talking to you through the houses, okay? Because that's where I went deep. That's where my higher self went deep. That's the other thing. Here's an Aquarian thing for you. This is as much as we are like, it's my higher self, it's Jesus energy, it's aliens, it's blah blah blah, it's da da da, right? As an Aquarian, I'm having the difficulty in trying to explain to you guys that it's not separate. So, like, where we're used to calling spirit spirit, it's really us. It's me. It's my higher self. It's that energy. And so that's the Aquarian part of me that's like, I need them to understand that it's not separate. But that's just kind of a side note. That's just kind of to help you get into the Aquarian mind. So let's talk about Pluto when he was last 248 years ago in Aquarius, which was 1778 through 1798. What did we have during that time? Well, we had the vaccine for the smallpox, we had the French Revolution, we had the Haitian Revolution, and we had the American Revolution, right? This is when Uranus was discovered in 1781. Do you see the revolutionary progressing forward kind of thing? And then before that, when Pluto was in Aquarius in 1532 to 1553. This is when King Henry broke free from Catholicism, from the Catholic Church. Not Catholicism, but the Catholic Church, right? Um, and I think it was a Sikhism was established in Punjab, in the Punjab region. This is all, again, if you look at Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, it's like King Henry. The church was a traditional organization, which Aquarian likes. It likes the organization, but if it was outdated and needed to be forward moving, then that's what King Henry did. Does that make sense? Um, so that's the thing is that religion you're going to see if it's not outdated, and a lot of them are, if it's not outdated and it's still working for humanity, then it will stay. If it's not, it ain't gonna stay. And if it's not helping with some lies and some truths being told, then it's got to go, right? Let's see. To help you understand, because it's Aquarius fixed air, it's like we have this rigid ideology. We have this rigid way about us that people probably don't like. Like when we get our mind set on something because we came to that idea, the ideology, we know that we took a lot of steps to get to that idea, and so it is going to take a lot to change our mind. You need to come with data, not emotion, about changing our mind. Okay? That's how you need to progress in this next 20 years. Um, yeah. So that's good and bad, because here's the thing. An Aquarius can get in their head that they know what's true to be, that they know what's true is true, but they forget that truth is a perception, right? So, let me see if I can say that another way. They may have this idea about how something should go because that's the way they saw it in their head and that's the conclusion that they came to. And so that's the way they want to do it. And you may have a different idea and a different way of thinking and saying, "Hey, I can see that it's going to go this way because there's too many variables and we may want to change this." Aquarian's going to be like, "Nope, I saw it. This is the way it is, or we're not going to do it." That's the mistake an Aquarian can make. And that's the mistake this energy can make, is that even though we have ideologies, we still need to keep an open mind. Okay? Because we can get, as Aquarian energy can get stuck. It can get stuck in overthinking, thinking too much. It needs to connect with the emotional part. And that's what we're going to be learning over the next 20 years. That's what Pluto is going to help us understand. Okay? So, just to give you a little example of Pluto through the houses, I came up with the 12, except for the ninth. I still haven't, or the eighth. But I'll give you Pluto. This is what he helps us become. So in the first house, it's about know thyself. Okay? So Pluto in the first house, it's about knowing thyself. In the second house, it's know thy value. In the third house, it's know thy voice. In the fourth house, it's know unconditional love. In the fifth house, it's about Pluto teaching you to know your true joy and self expression. In the sixth house, it's about knowing your truth. In the seventh house, it's about knowing your dreams and creations and knowing the power in that. And the eighth and ninth, I still haven't wrapped all around what I want to make that yet, but the 10th is about knowing your power in authority. The 11th is about knowing who your group is, knowing your group. And then the 12th, I had already mentioned this before, is knowing self preservation and self sacrifice and the balance in that. And that's what Pluto is teaching each of us in that, right? So the 8th and ninth, I'll tell you in the next video, because I just can't decide which way I want to go with that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Get ready for the series. It's going to come out as they come out. It's a lot of emotion, so it kind of takes a little bit longer. It's going to take a little bit longer to get through each one. So bear with me, and thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.